Hi, myself Adi Narayanan. Today we are going to discuss about Java threads. So Java thread is mainly to write a program, multitasking program. You know what is multitasking? Windows is a multitasking operating system, meaning at the same time you can run Notepad, TextPad, Eclipse, MySQL Server, all are running in the desktop. So 4 program, 5 program, even 10 program will run concurrently. So your CPU will give certain amount of time to all the application. So that's why so we call it as Windows as multitasking. Windows is multitasking, not even multitasking. Yeah, multitasking. Windows is a multitasking operating system. See, type in Google what is multitasking. Okay. So, whereas in Java also allows us to do more than one task at the same time. Java will also allow more than one task to be executed concurrently at the same time. So, we will see what is the theoretical sort of. The main thing is you should understand what is asynchronous programming and what is multitasking. In Java, we called it as multi-threading. Multi Threading, multi-threading in Java. In Java, we call it as JVM Java multi-threading. Just to see what is Java multi-threading. So, for example, when I go to any site, any site, let me type here www.google.com Java, JVM Java, THREAD, thread, or Java multi-threading. MELTI multi THREADING. Okay, see what is multi-threading. Multi-threading in Java features that allow concurrent execution of two or more parts of the program for maximum utilization of CPU. This is the main use. See, for example, if you transfer money from one account to another account, so you need to update the database with the amounts of beneficiary and the your account and your beneficiary account. You need to send email and you need to send SMS. So three tasks: updating database, sending email, sending SMS. What we can do know, sending email and sending SMS can be coded as threads, and we can run both the thread simultaneously. Meaning, one thread will run execution of sending mail, another one thread will run execution of sending SMS. If you are having a multi-processing system, if you are going to have multi-processing system, then uh, Java will take our Java scheduler will take advantage of multiprocessor and it will assign this thread to different processes so that your task is getting more CPU time. So this is the base idea, other than nothing. So what is the main advantage of multi-threading? You are going to utilize the processor available in your computer or laptop whatsoever. If there is more than one processor and it has a capacity to run more than one task, and if you are going to do threading, then each task will be assigned to different processor based on Java scheduler, and from there your process your task. What is your task? Transfer money is your task. So your task gets more CPU time so that your completion of program will be much more faster. So that's the main idea. So in Java, multi-threading in Java, you can read this one multi-threading. Read all these things. Type in Google multi-threading. MULTI multi PROCESSOR. See what is multiprocessor, multi-threading, Windows. You can see whatever. Here, tutorial point, the multi-threaded program contains two or more parts that can run concurrently, and each part can handle different tasks at the same time, making optimal use of. Hmm. So if you read this one, you'll get more knowledge. Java is a multi-threaded programming language, whereas in the Windows multitasking, one and the same. Here we call it as a thread-based, whereas Windows is task-based. Okay? So Java is multi-threaded programming language, which means we can develop multiple multi-threaded program using Java. A multi-threaded program contains more than one part that can run concurrently, and each part can handle a different task at the same time, making optimal use of available resources, especially when your computer has multiple CUs. This is very, very important. Only because of this, we are going for multi-threading. If you have only one processor, then I think so, you know, even that also going to help you. But anyway, this is the main advantage. By defining multitasking in which multiple processors shares common process resources such as CPU, multi-threading extends the idea of multitasking. You can read this one. Okay, what is the use of thread? This is the two things. One is utilization of CPU. One is to write asynchronous programming, and another one is utilization of CPU. CPUs. So if your laptop or a server or a desktop contains more than one processor, then it is better to write a multi-threaded programming so that your program will run much more, finish much more faster than synchronous program. So you should see what is synchronous and what is asynchronous. So asynchronous programming, or also see what is synchronous programming. SYNCHRONOUS. Synchronous, PROGRAMMING. Asynchronous programming, synchronous programming. Okay. Java, Java, asynchronous programming. Let me use this one. See what is synchronous program and what is asynchronous programming. Multitasking, multiprocessor, multi-threading, multiprocessor. Where is multitasking here? See all the three things. Have a general idea, very important. So after that you can read. So we can create a thread. We can create a thread. Thread is nothing but when you see what is a thread again, if you go here, if you call what is a thread, Java multi-threaded, if you go down, consider a thread is a task. Consider a thread is a task. Say for sending a mail is a task and sending SMS, you can write this task as a thread rather than one program to store to database, then send email, then SMS. You can write a program by using threading concept. So the thread contains life cycle. See, first it will be new, then it is start, then it is running, and during running it may come to uh, dead and waiting. So these are all the tasks. What are the life cycle? So new, runnable, running, waiting, and dead. One, two, three, four, five. Five states are there. So now let me show you. Now you got an idea about what is a thread. So if you ask a thread, thread is a task. Sending an email. That's a collection of lines. No, to send an email, you need to write some instruction. Here, see here, I create I. So how will you create a thread? Before that, how to create a thread? You know what is thread? Little bit. What are the life cycle of a thread? This is the life cycle of a thread. And see, new, runnable, waiting, timed waiting, and terminated dead. Thread priority. See, thread priority. There is scheduler, thread scheduler. See what is thread scheduler? You read, and probably either you can see this one or else you can see some other sites also. Java key point. Here also you can see. Okay. So multi-threading in Java is the process of executing multiple threads simultaneously, multiple tasks. See life cycle of a thread. What is the life cycle of a thread? New, runnable, new, runnable, running, non-runnable, terminated. Okay, anyway. So just if you read, you will get more idea. Before that, I am going to show you how to create a thread. How to create a thread. For example, what is my explanation is when you want to transfer money in a bank, so you update the database, send email, send SMS. So we can create a thread by creating a class extending this thread class. There is a class called THREAD. Or by implementing an interface, there is an interface called RUNNABL. Either way, you can create a thread. So if you write a class and ext extend thread, then that is the thread class. If you write a class by implementing this interface, runnable interface, then that is a thread. That's a thread class. Okay, come here. These are all the methods available as of THRE thread class. Very important is run. Run, start, very important. Okay, so come down here. We call this is as a thread class or thread or thread class. Why? Why is a normal program right, but this extends EXT, THREAD. So we can call this as a thread class. Okay, this is also thread class. Why? This is also thread class. From here, where it is ending here. This is also thread class because it implements runnable interface. So you can create a thread by extending thread class by implementing runnable. There are a number of sites available. You can use any sites. So now you know thread. Thread is nothing but one task. Sending email, sending SMS. So the coding, sending email, you write some coding, right? We can make that as a thread. Then you can say there's a collection of line to do a particular task. Sending email. To send an email, you write a number of lines to send an email. Then we can make that as a thread and we can make that as run asynchronously or multitasking. Both the things anyway. Just to read, you will get some idea. Thread scheduler. See, whenever you create a thread, that is assigned to the scheduler will run the thread. See what is scheduler? Okay, so sleep. You can when your thread is running, you can make it sleep. Meaning, you can sleep for some time based on some conditions. Anyway, if you read this, you will get idea. But anyway, as of now, I go and show you one example. I will show you one example. Okay, we call this as a thread class. Anyway, I'll show you an example. Okay, this is one example I created. This is a client. Before that, I will show you this is a thread. Why this is called a thread? I think public class, since it implements runnable interface, we call this as a thread class. So in the runnable interface, there is one method called run. So you should implement. See, that's all, only one method. So we call this as a thread. This class as a thread class, and so the line, either you can call this as a, these are the lines, right? When you when you run this class, and when you call, so when you create a thread for this class, when you create an object assigned to the scheduler, then it will run all these three lines. So this is a thread class because it implements runnable. How will you create? People ask, how will you create a thread? Either by extending thread class or by implementing runnable interface. See here, I created another one. See this one by extending thread. Either way, you can create a thread. Either way, you can. The preferred way is by you using runnable interface. Why? Because if you want to extend some other class, then you cannot use this approach. If you want to extend some other functionality from this class, then you cannot use this approach. And the runnable approach is the one because you can extend only one class, right? So you can extend, but you can implement more than one interface. Okay. So anyway, so now we call this is a thread class, and this is one thread class. Email sending SMS, transfer money. Here you see, is this a thread class? Is this a thread class? No, just is a class. Okay, here I wrote one main method, and so I want to transfer money. What are the code to transfer money? Beneficiary, get account balance, check minimum balance, detect money, credit money, then send email. then send a SMS. So these are the tasks, right? When you want to transfer money, these are the tasks. So what I can do is I can make sending SMS and sending email as asynchronous, meaning I don't want to wait. See here, I don't want to wait I uh, until the SMS and email are sent to the customer. The understanding is I created two thread, right? I created two thread. I created two thread. I created two thread tasks. And so how I make asynchronous here is, see here I am creating an object, then this one I am making into this, I'm creating a thread, I'm starting the thread. So that, and so that what it will do, no, it will assign the code, this line will assign the thread to the scheduler, and your control will come to this line. Whereas if you call a method, what will happen? If you call a method, if there are 100 lines, all the 100 line will get executed, then it will come to the next line, right here, then it will come. But whereas in the case of thread, it won't wait. Here you are starting the thread, you are creating. So what is this one? Send email. What is the method inside available? In both the classes there is a method called run. In both the thread extends, implements runnable, also contains run method, and this also contains run method. Okay, now when you come here, what I do know, transfer money. Okay, these two tasks I want to make it as asynchronous. That's my idea. That's the idea. So here what I do, and here what I do is, see here. Okay, I create a thread. I create a thread. I create a thread, and I start the thread. And I will come to here. I will create the thread. I started it. My control will go. My control will not wait until this task is getting completed, because this task can be completed at any point of time. So your thread is created and you assign the thread to the scheduler, and scheduler, when scheduler gets time, it will run. Asynchronous programming. If it is synchronous programming, when you call a method, then it will run. Then only when that method completes all the logic, then it will come here. Whereas here you are just kickstarting the threads, so it will run concurrently, and your main method also running concurrently. So that's the advantage. Try to understand this one. Very, very important. Okay, I will run this one. When you go to this two, what we are doing here, right? We are sleeping. We are making the thread to sleep for 500 nanoseconds, and also here also I am to some nanosecond. Why? In the sense to demonstrate this example. To demonstrate this example, let me run. You will see. See now what will be the output when you run your output. First, it will be money transfer successfully, and this may run after some time, or it may run little bit. Anyway, I'll run first. I'll run this program first. How will you run this program? Run Java application. What is the output? See here, how come transfer money? See here, transfer money successfully. It is coming first. After that, see, you are getting something. Sending email, sending SMS, email sent successfully, SMS sent successfully. See the output. Email. See here, email sending, then sleeping. After that, we see the output, and also SMS. We made is asynchronous, both the tasks, sending email. So this is completed. Once this method is completed, result will be printed to the user, and your email and SMS is running, and it will get completed once it completes the task. Asynchronous. Your main method is not waiting until your email and SMS are sent. Very important. Let me run this one again. See here, what is the output? See here, we got two things. See here, now it's coming. Now it's coming. Asynchronous programming. Sending email process, sending SMS process, money transferred successfully. If I, who is calling the run method? Here there are two run method, right? Who is calling the run method? Scheduler calls this run method. Scheduler, we are not calling the run method. Scheduler is calling the run method. We are not calling the run method. Scheduler is calling the run method. What does it do? So here it is a new state. After this, it is a running state, runnable state. When you go here, when you go here, when you go here, so life cycle. See here, life cycle of a thread. Where is life cycle of a thread? Life cycle of a thread. The life cycle of a thread. See here, when you create, here it is new. After this line, runnable. See new, runnable. After, so when you go here, after this line, uh, so this is blocked, meaning it is sleeping for 700 nanoseconds. So once after 700 nanoseconds completes, it will go running mode. It will go to runnable mode. It will go to runnable mode, then it will go to running mode, then finish. Once a thread is finished, then terminate mode. When your thread gets finished, when it reaches this one, your thread gets completed. When it reaches this one, your thread gets completed. So you should very important. Once try to read and understand, you will get most of the things. So now we made this email and SMS as asynchronous program. Asynchronous meaning you are if I command these two things, I will make thread asynchronous. Synchronous meaning I call the run method directly. I call the run method directly. Here we are not even though this is a thread class, we are not using threading concept. Just we are calling the run method. What will happen? It will go and what is our output? Our output will be transfer money started. This one is synchronous. Now you made synchronous. Only this is going to make you asynchronous. This is run with synchronous. See now what will happen. First, email will be sent, then only SMS will start. Then only main will end. See here, entirely. See, transfer money started. Sending email. Email sent successfully. Entire email is task is completed. Then money transferred successfully. Then SMS is starting. Then SMS is ending. Why? Because you made this as synchronous. You calling a method. When you call a method, it will go and run all the line. Once it returns, then it will go to the next line. So this is not the right way. So in our case, this is synchronous, normal way of programming. You are not even using threading. If you use this here, you are using threading. You are using threading. Same way here also. Then you have, now you got some idea. When you see this input, you got some idea. See, if you see the code, this is the code. This is the code and sending email. This is the code. This is the code. We have created two threads. We created two threads. See here, this is the code. Thread can be created by using extending thread class or by implementing runnable interface. Here I show the demo that I made both the tasks asynchronous. Asynchronous. So meaning if you have more than one processor, your scheduler will assign this task to different processor, and also your main thread is not waiting. See your main thread, main thread is not waiting until email and SMS is completed. Meaning when your main method is completed, when it completes this line, your main method is getting completed. But if I run this one, here sending email process, see here this line, your main method completed here. After that, see your email is working, your SMS is working. Here your main method is completed. So your main method is not waiting until your thread gets complete. What are the two threads you created? I created two thread here. I created two thread and I started the two thread, and the scheduler will call the run method. So if you call the run method, then you are not at all using thread. Scheduler will call the method. So just to read this document, you will understand all the things. I explained here most of the things. So multitasking, life cycle, creating a thread. How will you create a thread? Here, how you are creating a thread? This one. These two lines creates the thread. You are creating object and you are assigning this object to the scheduler by this line. This line. Assigning that scheduler. Just read, you will get what is the use of start method. Sleeping a thread, thread scheduler. Starting a thread twice. No, you no need to start a thread twice. No need to t dot start only one time. Enough. That is this thread. Email dot start. Only one thing enough. No need to start twice. Starting a thread twice. Calling a run method. Who is calling the run method? We are not calling the run method. Scheduler call the run method. Join. See, join in the sense if you want this task to be completed, if you want this task should be completed before you start this task, then you can use join. Thread dot join. Meaning, uh, meaning, okay, meaning, okay, that's the thing. When you go here, join. See here, you can see this example. So what is the use of join and join? Is right. Joining a thread. See here, the join method waits for the thread to die. Try to see, understand. You will understand this one. Here, this is a thread class. This is a run method. Where is your run method? Here your run method starts and ends here. Ends here. So for the same thread class they are in. This is not a proper example. Whatever I showed is the proper example. Anyway, they are trying to create three objects for this class. For this thread class, they are creating three objects. They are creating three objects and t1 dot start until t1 dot join until t1 dot join. This line will not get executed. What will happen after this line? This line will assign the thread to the scheduler and then it will go to this line, then it will wait because t dot join until this thread completes, until this thread, no, this completion of this run method inside this class completes, it will wait. After that, it will start t2 and t3. Just read, you will get knowledge. You should be able to get all this knowledge on your own. From so that's a capacity. That's one's capacity. So self-learning is very very important. So now you got what is a thread. Thread is nothing but a task. That task can be small or it can be too complex, or email and SMS can be a single task, and email, SMS and storing to database and updating something also can be a single task. It's up to you. It's up to you, right? So I created a two thread here. In my example, I created two thread. One is email and WhatsApp and SMS, and I expand it. Okay. So here also naming a thread, you can name a thread priority. You can assign a priority to the thread so that your scheduler will give more priority to the thread which has higher priority. Just read this one, and I will explain this daemon, thread pool, thread group in the next video. Next one, we are going to discuss about synchronization. After that, I will describe about thread pool. Very important. These are the three concepts is very important. So creating a thread and starting the thread is the one, and understanding life cycle and the join simple concept, and the synchronization is one important concept, and the thread pool is one. These are the three important concepts. These are the three important concepts which we are going to see. Now we saw one concept, creating a thread, starting the thread, thread scheduler, thread life cycle, and see my example. You will get more knowledge, and read, you will get more knowledge. Okay, thanks for your time, and we will meet in next video.